Now I invite Dr. Nausif. His topic is neurovascular antropylorus perineal transposition using pudendal nerve anastomosis for total anorectal reconstruction. Preliminary reports in human.
I am presenting the preliminary results of neurovascular antropylorus perineal transposition using pudendal nerve anastomosis for end-stage fecal incontinence in humans. As we all know, end-stage fecal incontinence is a major morbidity where patient is left with permanent abdominal stoma as the only alternative, and worldwide there are limited surgical options available for stoma reversal. The current standards for anal sphincter replacement, including dynamic graciloplasty and artificial bowel sphincter, have shown to have very high morbidity and low success rates. And moreover, sacral nerve stimulation is not an option for end-stage fecal incontinence. The use of antropyloric valve as a substitute for anal sphincter dates back to 1982, which was followed by various animal experiments which favored the possible application of this procedure to humans. The preliminary report was published by us, which showed the feasibility of the procedure in humans. We reported the initial outcomes of the procedure this year in disease of the colon and rectum, which showed better incontinence scores and quality of life in patients undergoing this procedure. However, lack of voluntary control was a concern. In an attempt to improve the voluntary control, we performed cadaveric studies where we demonstrated the technical feasibility of anastomosing the anterior vagus nerve of the antropyloric valve with inferior rectal nerve in the perineum. So, the current study aimed to evaluate the surgical and functional outcomes of innovated antropyloric valve transposition in patients with end-stage fecal incontinence. The classical technique of antropyloric valve transposition included the mobilization of antropyloric valve based on the left gastroepiploic arterial pedicle and transposing to the perineum, and anastomosis performed between the colon and the distal end of colon and the pylorus. In the current technique, we mobilize the antropyloric valve along with the anterior vagus nerve based on the left gastroepiploic arterial pedicle, and the nerve transposed was anastomosed with the inferior rectal nerve in the ischial fossa. The gastrointestinal continuity was maintained with a posterior gastrogenostomy, and a diverting colostomy was retained for 6 months. Postoperatively, anatomical evaluation of the antropyloric graft as well as neural integrity was performed, and functional evaluation was performed by various methods. Total 8 patients underwent the procedure after ethical clearance and informed consent, among which 6 patients were following an abdominal perineal resection for carcinoma rectum. The technique was successful in all the 8 patients, among which 7 patients had a right-sided neural anastomosis, where 1 patient underwent a left-sided sural nerve graft in the perineum. Over a mean follow-up of 12.3 months, none of the patients had major morbidities or any mortality. Except for surgical site infection, there were no gastrogenostomy-related complications or graft-related complications. On assessment of the graft, on digital examination, a definite tone of the sphincter was palpable in all patients, and the celiac CT angiogram showed the intact left gastroepiploic arterial pedicle to the graft. MRI of the perineum showed the healthy graft in the perineum. Distal loop barium studies were performed, which showed contrast retention proximal to the sphincter in late films in all patients. And on manometry, a mean resting and squeeze pressures of 26 and 50 millimeter mercury were present. On colonoscopic examination, initially while performing the colonoscopy through the colostomy site, the antropyloric valve was found to be consistently closed, and while examining through the perineum, antral contractions were noticed on voluntary attempts to hold the feces. High resolution perineal ultrasound showed the intact neural continuity in all the patients, and on percutaneous neural stimulation, EMG showed waveforms with a mean amplitude of 77 microvolts lasting for a mean duration of 87.6 seconds. And after colostomy closure, The fecal incontinence scores varied from 7 to 12. We used CENMARC's fecal incontinence scoring for this. Anti-motility drugs were initially used by all patients, but over time they were reduced in dose. All patients had persistent mucus discharge for which they had to frequent pads. However, all patients preferred the perineal neoanal status to an abdominal colostomy. So, to conclude, the technique of neurovascular anteropylorus perineal transfusion with pudendal anastomosis is technically feasible and may play a role in highly selected group of patients with end-stage fecal incontinence. The physiological and clinical success requires long-term follow-up, and it should be performed in a surveillance setting. Thank you.